Hi, I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Kaylee, and this is
Shoot the Vows. Today we have a really special guest, as always. Always special. We have Christy Monti with Monti Makeup and Mindfulness. And Christy, do a little self-introduction for us today.
Okay, so my name's Christy Monti. I am a makeup artist / esthetician / yoga teacher. So I own a studio in Camillus, New York. It's on West Genesee Street by West Genesee High School. Had that for a couple years now, and I've personally been doing makeup. I started my career in 2008, right out of college.
Oh, the fun makeup period.
Yeah.
Where makeup was really interesting.
Yes.
Bright
oh my
and
gosh.
bold.
Yes.
Tan.
Right. Yeah.
Very tan.
Oh, very
Yeah. Full glam. Still love a good full glam. But yeah, I started at MAC Cosmetics right in Macy's in the mall. Was there for 4 years. That's where I actually built my artistry skills. Yeah, so I did that for 4 years, and then I went to aesthetic school after those 4 years and learned skincare and all that good stuff. Yeah, and then flash forward to 3 years ago, I found my space finally. I love my space because it felt very zen to me. Yeah, I've been practicing yoga for about 15 years as well, and I walked in the space and I was like, oh, this looks like a yoga studio. So I immediately went to Bali and I got
I remember that. I was so jealous.
Yeah, I got my 200 hour there in Indonesia.
So the studio came first and it kind of inspired you
yes,
to
it
okay.
inspired
So
me.
you weren't looking for a space to do the yoga. You walked in and was like, oh,
yes.
This is it.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
yeah, that's like me,
Yeah.
that's what I love doing. And
So I'm sure on wedding days when you're doing hair and makeup, that kind of keeping it chill is kind of important to you because you're a person that values that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And there's different energies on your wedding day, right? And you're bringing that energy in. So the vendors that you hire are going to have their own energy.
Oh, yeah.
And we always talk about
It's important to jive with your vendors.
Yeah.
Oh, completely.
Making sure that they are also on the same page as you, whether you're talking about, the makeup or just the personality in general.
Yeah, definitely. You got to vibe with your vendors.
Yeah.
It makes it so much more fun and,
For
easygoing. And, just like if you have a type A personality bride or whatever, that's really down to the wire. You got to mold to that too, you know?
Yeah.
Which is sometimes hard for me because I'm the other type. I'm a little bit more chill and relaxed, but I like to be organized as well, So I have to kind of mold to whoever I'm working with, which is pretty easy most of the time.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But definitely having your vendors be, you don't want to not like a vendor, and that would ruin the day.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially makeup being one of the first things of the day. It sets the tone and the mood for the rest of your wedding day, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now you have a team for wedding days if there's several.
Yeah, I have an assistant that I'll bring with me depending on the timeline. I can do up to 10, which is crazy. It sounds wild, but I can do it. I do it. I bang it out and get in the flow state, which is one of my favorite parts of weddings, actually, is being in a flow state. I just get in the zone. But yeah, if I have someone that requests an express timeline, say they have to be ready by 11 and they have 8 people or 9 people, I'll usually gauge this is how many hours it'll be by myself, or this is how many hours will be with an assistant.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you kind of let your couple choose whether they want just you or the assistant also?
Correct. Yeah. So if they want that express time, they don't want to sit around for 6-7 hours and they want 4 hours, then we'll bring the assistant.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So then it makes sense to ask your makeup artist how long it's going to take you to get ready, not tell your makeup artist how long it's going to take you to get ready. I mean, obviously it's we need to be ready by this time, but you're kind of planning okay, then if that's the case, we need to start by this time if we have this many people.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it's kind of it is dependent on the photographer, what the photographer wants to do. If they want to do a first look, if they want to do, photos before or after the ceremony, it's all dependent on that. And
yeah, that makes sense. Now, if couples do a first look and maybe they even do some photos before the ceremony, do you ever stick around for touch-ups before the ceremony?
Oh yeah, if they want that peace of mind, I'll definitely stay. Sometimes they don't really need much, but I'll be there, just for just in case grandma's sobbing and she sobbed her makeup off or something, which, it's all waterproof, but makeup moves, it's not like magical spray paint on your face. It's
and
going to have.
If it's summertime, you've got sweat. That's
sweat
also
is
not
real.
helping.
I have this crazy product called Stop the Sweat. But it works, but it's a little scary because it says it's flammable. I haven't had any accidents with it yet.
Thankfully.
I haven't tested it personally myself, which I probably should, but I have a product called that.
I mean, to be fair,
hairspray is too
flammable.
Yeah, that's very true. I asked them, make sure if you don't smoke, you don't want that,
Especially
just in case.
On your face so close. That makes sense.
I've never tested it. I don't really want to test that.
I wouldn't want to.
But
don't light your face on fire.
Yeah. Yes. Just get a little dermaplaning done real quick.
Yeah. But if you do, we'll fix it with makeup.
Yeah. If you're on fire, we'll fix your makeup. Just kidding. That won't happen. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, and then as far as like touching up, we talked about that. And I always say like dab, don't wipe.
Yeah.
Just dab.
Sure. Yep.
People also don't consider the cold too. Like when it's outside, when you're outside and it's cold
and dry,
you don't. Well, I'm not going to sweat the makeup off. Yeah, but your nose is going to be running everywhere.
Yeah.
You're going to be wiping your face because your nose is running everywhere.
Oh yeah, cold season is real. Like that red nose, that
the red cheeks.
Yep. Yeah. A good mineral powder is good to just touch up with. I offer that at my studio. For like a touch-up kit. Mineral powder is good because it doesn't like cake up or whatever if you're going to touch up your makeup if I'm not there,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Certain products that you can have with you.
Yeah.
Let me get your opinion on something.
Yeah.
We had a comment recently on one of our other videos and the bride didn't want to be the first to do hair and makeup. What is your thoughts and opinion on the bride getting her makeup done? Like, when should she get hers done? Before the girls, after the girls, mid girls?
Yeah, I usually try to aim for mid. Definitely not at the end because it can be chaotic at the end, just in case, like, if you don't have a time buffer and, like, towards the end, you have, like, crunch time. It's not that relaxing for the bride.
Also, if there's like a first look going on and the other girls are just going to be sitting there while the first look is happening anyways, it makes sense for the bride not to be last in that situation. Have one of the bridesmaids be the last while the bride is off doing her first look.
Yeah,
because it's like 20-30 minutes sometimes.
But a lot of them want to watch the first look. So
true.
They all and then they always want to do the silk robe, picture.
Oh yeah, that last shot.
That's always like the kicker. It's like, get this makeup done so we can be in our silk robe photo.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, that makes sense. Then it's like a lot more of a crunch time at the end.
Yeah, but it's always different, Yeah, I think the mid is the sweet spot. In the middle.
Sense. I never thought about that.
Yeah. I didn't either.
People usually think have it done last because then it's not going to get messy.
Yeah. But I always like take that buffer time for touch-ups at the end.
Yeah.
Like 15-20 minutes, do lips, whatever needs touching up.
So you build a buffer time into like, if you think it's going to take you 4 hours, you're like 4.5.
Yeah. Definitely like at least 15 for touch-up and then 15 for whatever else that happens because
somebody's in the bathroom or they are on the phone.
Gotta do this or that.
Yeah, that
always
makes
doing
sense.
Something.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that all of the professionals that we've worked with that have any sort of experience in the wedding industry build in a buffer.
Yeah,
whether it be caterer or a DJ, or they just know not everything always goes according to plan, and that's okay. But if we can plan for that ahead of time, then everything's just smoother.
Everything's smoother. And I'm gonna be so real, like, I just started doing that, and it's a game changer. Yeah, and you got to get up earlier, which sucks. But like just not rushing at the end is better for everybody.
For sure.
Including me. Yeah.
So one of the really big important things before the wedding day, right, is like prepping your skin.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you tell brides or how you coach them through that.
What you recommend.
Because I feel like most of the work happens before they're even in your chair on that day, right?
Correct. Yeah. You got to start, before. So I am going to say eyebrows are definitely overlooked. Having like a crisp, get rid of the peach fuzz or stragglers, because if you're going to have stragglers and then your eyeshadow, it just doesn't look as clean and crisp as it should with a nice freshly shaped brow, either threading or waxing. I personally at my studio do waxing. And I would say at least like 4 days prior. And definitely, I think avoiding retinols is kind of key, because sometimes people can have crazy peeling and, overuse of retinol and their skin's inflamed. And especially if you're going to use a retinol, don't get a brow wax,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, your skin will lift.
Oh.
So I always ask every one of my clients, like, did you use retinol in the past couple of weeks? Because it can last for a long time and the skin will lift.
Interesting.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I've never used it
Yeah.
in my life.
I've tried here and there, but it makes me look older and I can't get through that phase.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I love retinol. It
Really?
literally like just,
You have baby skin though.
I don't know, it just like firms it just a little bit, and I get this like, sorry Carl, fuck you wrinkle right here.
Yeah.
And it's like from the face I make, and like that makes it go away.
Yeah.
And like that's the only thing that
I want to like
ever
it.
been
Because she
able
I
to
can't
works
get
with
past
me.
the
She gets the
yeah.
the hell you doing,
The
wrinkle?
angry expressions.
It's the
yeah.
what the
yeah.
fuck face, really.
But it's nice to have those faces, right?
I make that face way too much.
Yes.
That's why I have the wrinkle.
Hey, that's you. Yeah, so retinols, let's try to avoid those. And then dermaplaning is actually really nice on the skin with makeup, like getting rid of that peach fuzz,
Yeah. Do you
It's not
recommend
a-
doing it before the wedding day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Not on the day.
Not on the day, no.
No.
No, because it, like, if you're going to get it done, it takes probably an hour to get it done. Like, they usually tag that on with a facial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it.
It's just like getting rid of that peach fuzz. Like,
I only just started doing a skincare routine like a year ago.
hey.
Oh my god.
Before then, it was bad.
Your
Well,
skin looks great.
Well,
I was thinking.
even when I was like a mechanic,
Mhm.
I didn't wash my face
You
every
were
day.
a
It
mechanic.
was
Wow.
bad. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, I was disgusting all the time.
I love that.
Hair, face, everything. So now I take much better. Well, now I'm getting older, so I'm like, kind of have to.
Yeah.
Kind of towards like the dermaplast. So I know like for me personally, like anytime I shave, it doesn't matter if it's my legs, my arm, whatever it may be, I get these really big like or red bumps, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're not huge. Does that happen with like the facial?
The dermaplaning?
Yeah, dermaplaning.
I haven't personally had it happen, or anyone I know had
Okay.
that happen to them, but I'm sure it could, if you have
Yeah.
like extra sensitive skin.
Mhm.
Definitely, like, yeah, it's kind of like catering it towards yourself. Like, you know yourself best too. Like, if you have sensitive skin, you're gonna like probably do like most minimal things ever before the wedding,
We always
maybe
tell
a
people-
facial, maybe not.
Yeah, we always tell people too, like, don't try new
New
things
things.
you've never done.
Yes.
Like the
Mhm.
week of your wedding.
Do it like at least 6 months prior and
If
test
not
it
earlier.
out.
Yeah.
Not just like the month before, like
Right.
test it out.
Yeah. Yeah, especially things that could cause breaking out
Yep.
or
Well, like
redness.
yeah,
or-
well, like I know a friend of mine, she gets her lashes done, and she found out like she'd got it done like 2 or 3 times, no problem. But on that 4th or 5th time, she started having an allergic reaction, and her
Yeah.
eyeballs literally swelled up to where they wouldn't even
Mhm.
open.
Right.
And like she
Yeah.
didn't know until the 6th time having them done. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. It's a gamble.
Yeah,
That's why
definitely.
I don't tell people to get lash extensions prior. I'm like, the strip lash, in my opinion, looks better. And you don't get like the eyeshadow fallout, like, because it's going to have fallout and you got to like comb it out of the lash. It's just
right.
a little bit of an extra thing. And then a lash lift, I wouldn't do that before
Really?
a wedding. Yeah, because sometimes I've had people that theirs are so high up and I put a lash on them and it's just like bling,
Ooh.
like too much.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, like, if you want your lashes lifted, a curler is fine.
Right.
We can do that.
So it's probably a safe assumption to make that before the wedding day, whatever you plan to do, maybe do it before your makeup trial.
Yeah.
So that way, if you run into issues like that,
You'll
where
know
the lashes are
beforehand.
too lifted for false lashes, you
Yeah.
can figure that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so many beauty things now that, everyone wants to try out. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think less is more. Like, you don't need a lash lift before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to use falsies.
Yeah. It's
Like-
like the makeup does what you want.
Right.
So even go ahead.
I feel like false lashes are always like
hit or miss?
If you're gonna do too much on the makeup, right? Like I feel like it's really easy to do it on the lashes.
Yeah.
Like where like sometimes I'm taking pictures of people and I'm like, where are your eyeballs?
Yeah.
It's like a black hole.
Raccoon eyes is what she calls them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's especially if you're using a natural light photographer that's going to rely on natural light and not use any flash. And they're not gonna fill they're not gonna fill those shadows. You're probably not gonna recognize yourself in photos.
Like
with
you
the
can't
too big
see the eyes.
Yeah. I always like test a couple different, that's why we do trial runs, you know, like I test a couple different styles. There's like 1,000 styles of strip lashes.
Yeah.
So I kind of like test them out based on like what they want too and what's good with their eye shape.
Yeah, some people like that.
Yeah.
Some people are into black holes for eyeballs.
But my poor couple last weekend, maybe the weekend before, she had a trial run for this hair and makeup artist, and she got to me. Poor girl. She told her light, natural, maybe a pop of color in there. And it was not light or natural. And she had put on these big dark lashes that she specifically asked not to. So they had to run to CVS and get a $10 fake strip on because she had their engagement session right after it.
Oh,
so
boy.
So right after she left, they had to go and they had to buy fake lashes for her because she wasn't comfortable in the ones that she had on.
Yeah.
And then by the time she got to me, her hair was falling out. So I was having to fix her hair. And
oh, no.
I was like, you might want to look into a better artist and hairstylist for your day, big girl. Oh my gosh.
Nice to investigate, and also in the trial run is like mostly investigation. It's like ask 1,000 questions, and you know visuals are good too. Not AI visuals. That's what I'm seeing lately. So
people using AI.
Yeah, like that's not a real person that we're showing, but it's because Pinterest algorithm like took over like all of its AI now.
Oh, so you mean for like examples?
Like their inspo, like they'll show me an inspo and it's always like the same AI.
That's not a human being.
And that's a robot, but they look great.
Literally
but they're
fake.
not real. But it's not their fault because Pinterest. That's what it is now.
That's what everything is pushing. Every social media platform.
So I love when people like show me my Instagram portfolio, like actual work for mine.
I know.
You know?
People do that with
like,
me. They're like,
yes, inspo from us.
That's a score.
Like, we really liked these photos, and I'm like,
I took those.
Thank you. Those are mine. They're not Pinterest AI photos.
It always makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
So going back to the engagement session thing, do you recommend couples schedule their trial on the day of their like engagement photos or engagement party?
That would be great. That also depends on the artist, you know, if they're booked for a wedding that day, if it's on like, you know, a Saturday. It just depends on the day. If it's on, you know, I personally am like always booked on the weekend, so it's not ideal to have one person on that day, but it would be great.
Or for like an engagement session, a lot of our couples do like Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, that's doable. You know, Thursdays. Yeah.
But it's scary. So maybe you do like an hour or two buffer in between just in case your hair and makeup artist is really bad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and
maybe not on that day.
I fix it. It was really bad. Like,
wasn't she like almost crying?
She was literally in tears when she
So
got
it must
to me.
have been pretty bad.
And also what it was is they used airbrush. And they didn't prep the skin. She said there was no primer. There was no prep involved. So by the time she got to me, it was literally cracking.
Oof,
and I was like, it's okay.
Airbrush.
We can
Sorry.
fix it. Don't you worry about
like
it. Like, I felt so bad. And this is not the first bride that we have had problems with airbrushing.
I've never been into it. I never understood the airbrush hype. I have one. I've tried 3 different airbrush systems and I hate it. And like brides, I'll try to convince them not to get it. Here and there, I'll like do some color correction with like, and then I'll add a little bit of spray, you know, if they really, really want it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has that tendency to crack and like age you. And, you know, even though it would be like the SB from Temp 2, like with the hydrating dewy look, it can just still, you know, and like sometimes you can touch it and it'll just like go away. I don't know. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I don't know if I haven't mastered it myself or not, but I never had good luck with it.
And I'm sure there's a trick to the trade, as there is in most,
I'm sure
you know,
there is.
but
I've seen some good ones and I for myself, I don't like it. Just to be real, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah. I know it lasts forever because like I had it on my hand the other day, like testing it out, and it like didn't come off for a long time. So that's the good perk of it. But there's also traditional foundation that lasts for like 30 hours now. It's just all like
Makes sense.
prep and all that.
Do you ever have clients that come to you and they're like, I love this foundation. Can we use this? And they want to use their own product?
Yep.
Is that like, you're fine with that?
I'll like test it out and like see if it's good or see if I have something better, like with sometimes it's a good product and I'll use it. I don't care. It's like, if that's what they love and I
love
approve.
Maybelline.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
I get the Elf Halo one a lot. That one's actually not bad for a drugstore. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That Elf Halo. It's supposedly like the Charlotte Tilbury flawless filter. Yeah. It's like a dupe.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I'm a big Tarte fan. I love everything from them.
Tarte. Yeah. Their eyeshadows are great. Smell good too.
Their mascara just does wonders.
So if you had like one piece of advice for couples, what would it be? Whether they're in the planning phase or on the wedding day or
just any piece of advice.
Ooh. Wow.
Doesn't even have to be makeup related.
Okay. One piece of advice.
We'll put her on the spot.
I think do what you want to do and not what mother of the groom or bride wants to do.
Fair.
I feel like there's a lot of like resentment towards the significant others, like mom or whatever, because they're like trying to appease them. I feel like, I don't know, it's your day. And I know maybe they're helping pay or whatever, but it's like,
at the end of the day, it's your decision.
Do what you and your significant other want to do. I think that's like a huge piece of advice in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
It's really easy to get caught up with what everyone else.
Oh my God. And everything in life.
Yeah.
For sure.
If you want to know what people think about your life, get married or have a kid.
Yeah. See who your real friends are.
Yeah.
Literally.
Everybody suddenly comes out of the woodwork. Like, this is how you're supposed to do that.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I witness it all the time. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's pretty much
I don't have anything else.
all I got for makeup.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for having me. This was
recording
fun.
an episode. Yeah. Oh, were you going to say something?
Nope, not no more.
As always, guys, if you have any comments, questions, or topic requests,
Drop them down below. We'd love to feature it in the next video.
subscribe.
Bye, guys.